Hi, it's me again. You're about to sit down and watch episode 217, and it's quite a traumatic episode. I have a gun put to my head. Speaking of guns, we had a storyline much earlier on where we went to practice to make sure that maybe it was around when the terrorists came, I don't know, that we had to be proficient in the gun. So we went to the range, which we actually did go to a real range, and we shot the guns. Not that I was that accurate, but... and then when we came back, Vera quite took to the guns. And I remember there being a shot of, Vera pointing the gun straight down the barrel, which I remember was thinking, oh, no, I don't think that... I shouldn't do that. That'd be terrible. I was thinking that, not Vera Bennett, but Fiona Spence was thinking, it wouldn't be acceptable to put the gun down the barrel. So I said to Lee Spence, I don't think I can do that. But he said, it'll work. And he was right, of course. It did work. But I didn't really want to do it. I felt, this would be terrible to have this gun pointed at you in your sitting rooms. Anyway, speaking of guns, I hope you enjoy this episode.
Vera, you're not making this any easier for me. We have to be alone tonight.
What are you talking about? Why?
Why? Because I was going to ask you to marry me, that's why. Well, will you?
God. Just stand there, go and get some help. Go and get some help!
What's happened?
Oh, this silly bitch has electrocuted herself. I don't think I'm doing
Go
this
and tell
right.
Sister Franklin what happened and bring a stretcher quickly.
Come on! Oh, I never knew I could feel this happy.
Me too. You know, I wonder why it took me so long to ask you. But I guess a disastrous marriage with Kathy made me feel as if I didn't want to get caught again.
Well, yes, I understand. I really do. I know what it's like when a relationship breaks up. Well, it makes you too scared to commit yourself to someone else.
You know, you're right. You know, seeing Kathy again, it's done me a lot of good. I always thought that what we had together was something special, something that, well, couldn't happen again. You see, when she left me, I was pretty cut up. I guess I didn't want someone hurting me like that again. But now I know that what we had together, any feelings I had for her, well, they've all gone forever.
Are you really certain?
I'm really certain. You see, she was just a taker. With you, it's different. It's a marvelous feeling of sharing, you know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Easy now. Watch out for her hands. They're badly burnt.
Is there anything I can do?
Oh, no, thanks. I can look after her now. She's breathing fairly normally, thanks to you.
Well, she wouldn't be if it hadn't been for Smith's quick work. Good work, Smith.
I'll have to call the doctor to check her over.
All right, I'll call him. You two can go back to your cell. Drop that back into Page's cell, please, Doreen. Hi, Mrs. Davidson. I just wanted to see you.
What's the matter?
Alison Page went too far this time. She just tried to electrocute herself.
Good Good heavens, is she all right?
Yeah, we got her breathing again. She's in the hospital. Sister Franklin thinks that she'll recover, but I've got to ring the doctor.
Well, we should have watched her more closely. I knew she was taking a long time to adjust, but I didn't think she'd go this far.
Well, none of us did. What do you suggest?
Well, after the doctor's seen her, I think we better move her in with another prisoner, Judy Bryant, perhaps. Maybe she'll help her to adjust.
Good idea. I'll move her as soon as she's on her feet again. In the meantime, we'd better ring her husband and tell her what happened.
Oh, I don't like our chances. I've rung several times and there's never any answer. He does conduct his business from home, so perhaps he's out on a job.
Well, why don't get Meg Morris onto it? She's around the building someplace.
Well, that's a good idea. I'll do that straight away.
Right, and I'll ring the doctor.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But just remember, you owe me a favour, okay? All right, ta-da. You in a good mood?
Of course I am. What do you think?
That was Colleen Powell. She wants me to do her night shift for her.
But we've got Meg coming.
Yeah, I know, love, but let's face it. I had everything worked out. I was going to ask you to marry me. You were going to accept, and then we were going to, well, we weren't going to play Scrabble, if you know what I mean. But the thing is, Meg is coming. That means you're going to want to talk girly talk, you know, bridal dresses, all that sort of thing.
I wanted
Oh, shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. I was just leaving anyway. Look, I'll see you at home, if only for a minute.
Were you on late shift?
Yeah, I'm doing my Good Samaritan bit for Colleen Powell. I'll see you later. Bye, Meg.
Oh, what are you so happy about? Meg, we're going to be married. You're the first to know. Oh, Vera, that's wonderful. Well, when did this happen? Well, just now, this morning. I can't believe it. Me, married.
Well, it does happen to the best of us.
But Vera,
I mean, you are sure? I mean, you know enough about Terry. He's what you want.
yes, we've been living together. I know all I need to know. I'm very sure.
Well, when's it going to be?
Well, we haven't made an actual date, but it'll be soon.
And you'll stay on here?
Well, I always thought I would. I'm a career woman. I can't imagine myself being anything else but a prison officer. But now
Yeah, you're not thinking of giving it away.
I want my marriage to last. With both of us doing shift work and overtime, and not to mention the other pressures, well, it wouldn't stand a chance.
But you said to me when I was leaving...
Vera Bennett. Oh, yes, Mrs. Davidson. Yes, well, as a matter of fact, she's right here. I'll put her on.
Hello? Yes? Oh, no. Was there anything I can do?
Well, I've been trying to get in touch with her husband, but there's no answer. I was wondering if you knew how to contact him.
Oh, well, I'll certainly try. Well, I'll be in touch, all right? Bye.
What was all that about?
Alison Page tried to electrocute herself, and Mrs. Davidson wants me to find her husband.
What happened?
Well, I don't know the details. Look, I better be going. Oh, am I still invited round tonight?
Of course you are.
Oh, for goodness sake, wipe that silly grin off your face. I'll see you later.
It's great to be with them, Elizabeth. Unfortunately, the appreciation doesn't cut both ways. Gordon's not happy. I get the impression I'm a burden on the family. I feel I've lost my independence. Now I know how you must feel in that place. How dreadful to wake up each day, knowing that not a minute of it is yours to do with as you wish. But enough of me. I know your next letter's almost due, but...
Lizzie, come on, come down to earth for Pete's sake. You've got an anxious bridegroom outside waiting to see you. You're not supposed to keep him waiting until the wedding day. Officer Barfield's waiting to take you out there. Well, come on. You're supposed to be a bit happier than that. Is there anything wrong?
No. No, Mr. Fletcher. I'm just being a silly old woman, that's all.
Hello, Elizabeth. Yeah, I was having a look round while I was waiting for you.
Said I wanna...
And I was just thinking to myself, you know what a pity it is they don't put this garden to better use. I mean, you imagine a border of alyssum and gazanias.
Sid, I'm sorry, but I gotta talk to you.
Yeah, you look a bit off colour, Elizabeth. Everything all right?
No, Sid. No, it isn't. Sid, I can't marry you.
Why, Elizabeth? Well, I know you must have a good reason for this, and I've always respected your judgment, but... Well, I honestly don't believe there's anything in this world can justify a decision like that. I realise ours has been a strange friendship. I mean, meeting in a place like this, but I truly believe once you get out of here, things will get even better. I've got a whole new family waiting to meet you. The grandchildren, your new stepson, Gordon, his wife.
Goodbye, Sid.
What brings you to these parts?
It's bad news, I'm afraid.
Oh, what's happening?
Well, she's all right now, but there's been a bit of an accident.
Accident?
Yes, this morning. We've been trying to get in touch with you all day.
What's happened to Alison?
She put a piece of wire into a live power point.
Why would she do... Suicide. She tried to kill herself?
Well, she didn't succeed. We managed to get to her in time.
Why wasn't someone watching her?
Mr. Page, I don't think you understand.
Understand? I've understood all along. I knew she was depressed. I could see she wasn't coping. Why did the people in charge note that?
Well, it's impossible to keep an eye on the prisoners every minute of the day.
Well, why wait till now to tell me? I mean, if she was dead, I wouldn't know until now.
Well, we've been trying to locate you. Your phone wasn't answering. We don't know where you were.
Of course not. I can't afford to have someone answering the phone. Alison used to do all that. Cook, look after the kids, take messages. It doesn't work without her. What can I do?
Well, perhaps you should have told her that before. Maybe she wouldn't be where she is now.
Can I see her?
Yes, of course.
She's doing fine. The doctor's given her something to ease the pain, and it's made her rather drowsy. I'm afraid you can only stay a few minutes.
Thank you, sister. Alison? How are you feeling, love?
I'm sorry I haven't been home to help. Are the children all right?
They're fine. Don't you worry about a thing. We're all great.
Have you come to take me home?
Not yet. You've got to get well first.
But I will, if you'll just take me home. It seems so long since I was there. Why am I here?
You had an accident. You've got to promise me to be more careful.
Accident? Did I? I don't remember. I feel so sleepy.
You get some sleep. I'll come and visit you again soon. Good night. I'm sorry.
I think we should leave her now, Mr. Page.
Please, Mrs. Morris, we've just got to get her out of this place.
Look, I know how you feel, but it's just not possible. She has got to serve her time.
But she's not like the others. She's not a criminal. She'll never come through it.
Look, they all have trouble adjusting at first. Some it takes longer than others.
It's like a nightmare.
You can come and visit her as often as you like while she's in the hospital. Look, why don't you bring the children? It may help her to see them.
My God, the kids. What do I say to them? How do you tell your children that their mother's just trying to commit suicide?
It's a case of hello and goodbye, I'm afraid.
Yes, I hate it too. Especially now that we've got so much to talk about and so many plans to make.
Oh, does this mean you've changed your mind since this morning?
Oh, no. What about you?
No. No, I haven't changed my mind. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I like it.
Me too. I'm looking forward to leaving Wentworth so that I can devote all my time to my new job.
Good. But mind you, the pay's lousy. But just think of the overtime.
Are you sure you've got no doubts?
No doubts at all. Actually, I'm glad you've decided to give up your job. Not that I mind you working, if you want to. It's just that, well, I'm glad you're away from that place. You're such a different person away from that atmosphere.
Well, it's going to be strange. In a way, I'm going to miss it.
Oh, don't you worry. I won't give you time to miss it. Oh, speaking of time, I better get going. I don't want to give him a chance to sack me, not that I've got a future wife to look after. See you later. Oh, give my regards to Meg.
And don't forget to stay away from that Kathy woman.
Kathy? Who's Kathy?
Mrs. Sid Humphrey. Nah. Mrs. Elizabeth Humphrey. God, it sounds posh, doesn't it?
Yeah, why does the woman always have to change her name? Why can't it be the other way around?
I don't reckon it matters.
Yeah, you didn't end up with a name like Smith, did you?
It's funny. I never think of myself as Doreen Anderson anymore. Got no reason to call myself Burns.
Oh, no, come on, cut it out. Otherwise you'll be feeling sorry for yourself in a minute.
No. I still think of Kevin a lot, but... well, it didn't work out, did it? So I've got to live with that, don't I?
Yeah, in the meantime, we're going to get this old devil married off.
Then it's your turn next.
Oh, I'll buy that. Hey, Lizzie, has Sid got a brother?
Hello?
Vera, it's Jim. Has Terry left yet?
Well, yes, he left ages ago. He should have been there by now.
Well, he hasn't arrived yet. I've been waiting for him to relieve me.
Well, I can't think. What could have happened to him? Maybe the car broke down.
Well, surely you would have gotten to a phone and given me a call.
Yes, you would have thought so. Jim, maybe he's had an accident.
Look, I'll check with the hospitals and the police and ring you back, okay?
Okay. Who is it? Who is it?
Vera.
Terry!
Oh.
There's no way you could recognize any of them?
No, I told you, none at all. They jumped me when I was getting into the car. Next thing I knew, I woke up in the gutter.
Terry, you've got to go straight to the police.
No, I'll be all right. I feel a lot better already. Look, as soon as you finish this, I'll get in touch with a detective friend of mine. I don't want the uniform blokes getting involved.
But why not? Oh, Terry, please explain it. What are you involved in?
I'm not involved in anything. Look, they probably just mistook me for someone else, that's all. It's no big deal.
No big deal. Terry, you were bashed. You could have been killed.
Well, I reckon it bloody stinks. You can bet your bottom dollar old Davo and Mrs. Morris will be all dolled up.
Yeah, OK, but the main thing...
God, it's a bloody miracle they'll even let Lizzie wear civvies. I mean, what do they care? She's just another old lag as far as they're
Will you
concerned.
hold your horses a minute? You've done nothing but grizzle ever since you got out of bed this morning. This is Lizzie's big day. I don't want it spoilt by you moaning and groaning all over the place because you can't wear your party frock.
Yeah, but it's not fair.
OK, I agree with you. But the main thing is not to upset Lizzie.
OK, fair enough.
Well, anyway, you look OK. You got that other uniform and I'll do your hair for you.
Oh, will you, beauty? Yeah, we'll show 'em. Hey, that's a thought. I wonder who will be there.
Oh, I haven't even thought about it.
No one.
What do you mean, love?
I mean, no one's coming. The wedding's off.
He just refuses to get the police involved.
But why?
I don't know. He won't even discuss it with me anymore. He just closes up.
Well, would you like me to have a word with him?
Would you? I'm scared. I don't want him to go through this on his own.
Yeah, of course. It's the least I can do. We've been mates for years.
Oh, by the way, he gave me strict instructions to apologise for causing you to do a double shift last night.
Yeah, he would think of that, wouldn't he? Well, tell him not to bother. It was hardly his fault.
Maybe it was, in a way. None of this might have happened if he'd confided in someone in the first place.
No bones broken?
No, thank goodness. I just got this whopping great bruise on my head the size of an egg and bruises all over.
Yeah, that little chat you had with Diana Walford must have got back to them.
Yeah, but who? And where do we go from here?
Well, if you're game, I'd like to pull that Diana Walford and her bloody pimp Taffy Jones in on suspicion. Now, I don't think we can hold them for a moment, but if I have a chat to them, might stir things up a bit. But you're going to have to be very careful.
Oh, I don't mind now, I've been warned. I just want to catch them.
Do you want a tail?
Well, there's not much point, really. I'll be at work from now on. If they turn up there, it's just a short walk to the cells. Look, I'll have another chat to Kathy. Tell her what's happened. You never know. Might just scare her into remembering something.
Yeah, well, I don't like your chances. I think she's scared enough as it is.
I know I should have told you before. Because you were looking forward to it.
No.
But I had a lot of thinking to do.
Good love, don't worry about us.
But I had to be. Because you're all I've got.
But what about
Look,
Sid?
all we were looking forward to was your happiness. Now, if something's going to make you unhappy, we want to help. Because we're a team, right? Put the jug on, love.
Wouldn't fit me, B.
Look, love, I know it's none of my business. But I'm going to pack my nose in anyway. What happened? Did Sid call it off?
Oh, no. That wonderful man wouldn't do that. He wouldn't hurt me.
Well, what then?
You remember I told you I had a visitor yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, it was Gordon, Sid's son. And he reckons I'm only marrying Sid for his money and for the house. And if Sid dies, there's no way he's going to let me have it.
What?
Oh, Sid must be a real nuisance to him, staying alive the way he is.
But I don't want the house to be. All I want to do is look after Sid.
Oh, we know that, love. What else did he say?
He reckons there's no way he's going to let an ex-con be the grandmother to his children. And that he hasn't spent all these years bringing them up proper to let me go and ruin it.
Oh, that's charming. Just imagine what the kids are like with a father like that.
No. Sid says they're the tops. That's the worst part about it. He reckons that if we go ahead with the marriage, that he'll never let Sid see his grandchildren again. Oh.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Barfield. Would you mind waiting outside?
Sounds important.
I assume you've heard the news.
Of the wedding?
Yes.
Yeah, just now, as a matter of fact.
I see. Smith, I'm not asking you to break any confidences, but what happened? Sid was very upset when he came to see me, and he didn't say why.
That's because he doesn't know himself, poor old devil.
But
like, I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way it is.
Do you know what happened? If I asked you, would you tell me?
Yeah, okay. I think perhaps we should work together on this one.
Hi. Well, what are you doing in here so early? You're not due until tonight.
Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd come in early, that's all.
Didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I know.
How are you feeling?
Oh, not too bad.
Any clues to who did it?
No, not at all.
Look, come on, Terry. You can't fool me. We've been mates for too long. I'm only trying to help.
Yeah, well, the only help I need is to be left alone to work it out for myself.
Oh, for God's sake, why don't you let the cops handle it? They're going to handle it far better than some private crusader.
Look, as long as it doesn't affect my work, it's nobody's business but mine.
But it will affect your work if they get to you again. You and Kathy could end up dead. Now, it may not be too difficult to replace a prisoner, but it's damn difficult to replace a good officer.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen, because I'm going to get to them first. You can count on it.
But surely you misunderstood. How could he say a thing like that?
I don't know, Mrs. Davidson. But that's what he reckons.
Well, did you try to reason with him?
I couldn't think of anything to say. He just kept on talking. And nothing he said was true. Honestly, Mrs. Davidson.
Of course not.
Well, why did he say it? I mean, he wouldn't have got that from Sid. Sid wouldn't think like that. And he never met me before, so why does he hate me?
I don't know, Lizzie. Some people don't need a reason. It's just hard to imagine Sid having a son like that.
Yeah, The bludger as good as kicked Sid out of his house. That's why Sid's at home now, on his own. How could a son do something like that, Mrs. Davidson?
Lizzie, you could sign a document disclaiming all rights to the house. I dislike giving in to him, but that might keep him happy.
Damn the house. I hate it. I don't want it.
Yes, but he does.
Well, let him have it. Just so long as he doesn't stop old Sid from seeing his grandchildren. That'd kill old Sid. It really would. He reckons the sun rises for them.
Come along, Lizzie. I think you'd better have some rest. You don't look as if you slept very well last night. Thank you, Mrs. Barfield. Lizzie's not feeling very well. I think she should have some rest. Mr. Fletcher, I'm just about to go out. Would you take over, please? Thank you.
You and I are going to have a little talk.
I wish you wouldn't sneak up on me like that. What's the matter with you?
A couple of your friends paid me a little visit last night.
Who? What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't suppose you know anything about it.
No.
I went and saw your friend Dinah. Tried to get her to talk, but she couldn't tell me anything, and then this happened. Now, I want to know who and why.
I tell you, I don't know anything.
Look, Kathy, I got worked over because of you. Now, whether you realise it or not, you know something you shouldn't. People don't just bash up prison officers for nothing. Now, I don't care how long it takes, but you're going to tell me.
Oh, there you are. I've been knocking on your front door. Sid?
Oh, Mrs. Davidson, I'm sorry, I was daydreaming.
I'm sure you have a lot to think about.
Yes, but come to a dead end. But there's just no reason for it. I've gone over all that's happened the last few days, but that hasn't helped at all. These are the happiest days of my life.
I know what happened.
It's obviously something I said or did.
I'm sorry, Sid, but I have something to tell you. And I'm afraid it's not very pleasant.
Well, you go ahead and tell me then, Mrs. Davidson. Couldn't be worse than not knowing the reason for all this.
Did you know your son was in town?
Gordon? Well, yes, he's staying with me while he attends a conference. His wife and children were supposed to come today for the wedding.
He came to see Lizzie.
Go on.
Well, I find it hard to believe, but he accused Lizzie of marrying you to gain possession of your home. He also said that if you went ahead with the wedding, he would make sure you never saw your grandchildren again. Normally, I wouldn't interfere.
No. You're quite right, Mrs. Davidson, to tell me. Look, I hope you won't think me rude, but would you mind leaving me now?
Well, are you sure you'll be all right?
Please, Mrs. Davidson, please. Leave.
Well, why would they bother to put somebody in here to keep an eye on you if they didn't think you had some information?
I tell you, I don't know.
Well, try, damn it, try. Look, did you go anywhere where the big boys hang out? Did you see anything, hear anything that didn't mean anything to you at the time?
The only place like that I've been is a pawn shop run by an old fence called Paul Trainer. I didn't know for sure. I'd only heard rumours.
Paul Trainer. Well, did you notice anything? Was there anybody else there at the time?
I can't remember.
Try.
I can't remember.
Look, there's one thing to live with you, but I'm damned if I'm gonna bloody die with you.
You miserable mongrel.
There, can we go inside, please?
Won't you come the bank manager with me, Gordon?
Look, I'm only trying to stop you making a fool of yourself in public.
Public, yes, that's it, isn't it? Mustn't have a dirty washing scene in public. Is that how you see Elizabeth? As dirty washing?
Well, look, if that's the way you want it, I will not have that woman in my family.
It seems to me you don't want me in your family either. Perhaps you think I ought to give you the house now. After all, you could charge me rent.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Dad. I'm doing this for you as well, you know. I mean, you were lonely. That woman took advantage of you.
Of course I was lonely. I was living with you.
Can we go inside?
No. I'm going to see Elizabeth. And if she'll see me, I'm going to apologise to her for the scab I call her son.
Sit down, Sid. Make yourself comfortable and, I'll go and get Lizzie for you.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Lizzie,
Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
you've got a visitor. It's Sid. Do you want to see him? Well, I think you should. He looks very upset.
No, Mr. Fletcher. Try not to hurt him. But tell him there's nothing more to be said. Oh. Sid. Sid.
Where's Lizzie?
You don't expect her to come to lunch, do you?
I suppose you're right. Bloody Gordon, I'd kill him if I could get him now.
I wouldn't mind getting my hands on him myself. He makes Vera look like an angel.
Yeah, well, that's not going to do Lizzie much good. He's already destroyed her life. She's going to need a lot of looking after, you know that? What's wrong, honey?
Yeah, you all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Thank God you came along when you did, or I don't know what he would have done.
Eh?
Oh, well, I was going to tell you about it, Bea. I came along and caught Terry Harrison with Kathy. I thought he was going to bash her up.
Oh. He went berserk. You got to do something, Bea.
Yes, well, I'll add it to my list. I said we'd look after you, Kath, but I also warned you not to go off on your own. It's dangerous. I'm afraid Mr. Terry Harrison is second on our list of most hated men. Gordon comes first.
Gordon?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it after lunch. But you've got to stay away from Terry, Kathy. I mean, bloody screws. But if you think Terry's bad, you should have met Jock Stewart. He was a real mongrel. You know, he ended up killing Judy's girlfriend.
Poor old fellow was so upset, well, I didn't know what to do.
It sounds as though he's been talking to his son. We found out this morning that Sid's son was the one who's caused all the trouble.
How?
Well, he was scared that Lizzie was going to steal his inheritance. Oh, there were other things as well, but I'm inclined to think that was the main reason.
But he's well off, isn't he?
Well, there's never enough for that sort, Jim.
So what happens now?
Well, two people who obviously love each other are going to spend the rest of their days apart. The most we can do is care for Lizzie as best we can.
Oh, it sounds like Lizzie's better off than Sid.
How do you mean?
Well, at least she's got her friends in here. Poor old Sid. He's only got his son.
What'll we do with this?
Cross it out and use it for the next happy wedding. What else?
Poor Lizzie, she was so happy.
Yeah.
Paul, I want to see you outside.
Well, it isn't Scarface Harrison. Is this a private matter or something to do with the prison?
It's got nothing to do with you, Smith. Just mind your own business.
Yeah, well, we heard about your last little chat. I know all about your type and your standover tactics. And none of us would like to see Kathy get hurt, would we, girls?
No.
Your friends don't seem to understand. You sure you want to talk here? It could be dangerous.
I'll be right.
All right, if that's the way you want it. You mentioned a bloke called Tranter. What else do you know about him?
Nothing. I only went there once.
What for?
I was broke. I wanted to pawn something.
Oh, come on, you can do better than that.
It's the truth. Hang on, I do remember something. There was a bloke there called John. Yeah, that's right, John.
John who?
Just John. I never knew his last name. I met him at a party. We got a bit high and ended up in the cot together. He was tall, blonde, well-built.
Yeah, I bet he was.
Don't judge me, Terry.
All right. What's this John bloke doing in the pawnbrokers?
I don't know. He was putting something in his pocket when I arrived, and then he left. I said good day, but he just nodded and walked out. That's all I remember.
Turn it up. You must remember something more about it than just that.
Well, I don't.
OK, that's enough. You're a cop and that's all you're getting.
Don't push your luck, Smith. Come on, all of you. Get back to work. You too, Hall.
Well, that's one down. And now to turn to Mr. Humphrey.
Oh, hi.
I was just going to check on the cleaning up.
Oh, I beat you to it. They're okay. Look, I'm going home for a couple of hours rest before I come back to the night shift.
Oh, it looks like we're not going to be seeing much of each other for the next few days.
Yeah, that's why I want a chance to speak to you now. Look, about the wedding.
What about it?
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't fancy a long engagement. How does 6 weeks sound?
6 weeks?
Too soon?
Well, no. Just 6 weeks. No, that'd be wonderful. As long as we can book a church and make all the arrangements in that time.
You wouldn't settle for a registry office, would you? No? No. No, you're right. Church. Let's do the whole thing, eh?
Oh, good. Well, let's see. I've got an uncle interstate.
Oh, yeah, I got hundreds of relatives, none of which I'm going to invite.
You know, I can't get over the change in Vera. Getting married certainly made all the difference to her.
Well, I just hope it stays that way.
That sounds a bit sinister. Why shouldn't it?
I don't know. I'm just a bit concerned about it, that's all.
About what?
Well, don't get me wrong. I like Terry very much, and I know he's made Vera very happy, but...
But what?
Well, the other day I was around the red light area checking up on one of my girls, just making sure she hadn't gone back into the business, when I saw Terry.
That doesn't sound like Terry. Senior, you sure it was Terry?
Mm. He was talking to Dinah Walford. And after a while, I went into this block of flats.
Well, she was that pro that was brought in here at the same time as Kathy Hall.
Yes, that's right.
Well, maybe he was just checking up on Kathy for some
Yes,
reason.
well, why bother if it's all over between them? Either way, it doesn't look very good for Vera. I mean, do you think I should tell her or what?
No, I don't think so. You haven't got any real evidence. It'd be a shame to throw the cat among the pigeons when it might turn out there's a perfectly logical explanation for it all. It could have something to do with last night.
Last night?
Well, I take it you haven't heard about it.
Heard about what?
Hello. Well, it seems like all this wedding talk is catching. We've just set a date.
Oh, that's terrific, Vera. When's it going to be?
Well, I don't know the actual date, but in about 6 weeks' time. And seeing it so close, well, I'm going to see Mrs. Davidson today and hand in my resignation.
Yes, can I help you?
I hope so. I'd like some information.
It's on the shelves, you can buy it.
No, it's not impossible. There's a girl named Kathy Hall. I believe she's a regular customer of yours.
Kathy Hall? Can't say I remember her. So many young people come into my shop nowadays.
Oh, I'm not trying to find her. I know where she is. She's at the Wentworth Detention Centre.
Huh?
No, it's a friend of hers, a bloke named John. I believe he was doing some business in here one day when she came in. Tall, thick-set, blonde.
Are you a cop?
Do I look like one?
Sorry, I don't remember either her or a friend.
I suggest you try and remember. She's already put the finger on you and this John bloke. It's only a matter of time before she spills a lot, then the police will be all over you like a rash.
I told you I don't know this Hall woman or a friend.
Look, she said you were just a small cog. That's why I'm trying to help you. Now, you help me and you'll be looked after. Now, where can I find this John bloke?
I told you I don't know who you're talking about, either of them. I run an honest business. Now, will you get out?
Oh, come on, trying to save yourself while you got the chance. Didn't you hear me?
I said get out.
Well, that's the way you want to play it. But you're a fool. So if you change your mind, give me a ring at the Wentworth Detention Centre. The name's Terry Harrison.
Mr. Humphrey, please.
Speaking.
Hold the line for a minute, please, Mr. Humphrey.
Hello, Mr. Humphrey. My name's Smith. B. Smith. Now, you don't know me, but we have an interest in, well, shall we say, a mutual acquaintance?
Who would that be, Miss Smith? Your future stepmother.
What's going on here? How do you know her?
Oh, we've shared a flat for years, if you know what I mean. And a little dicky bird told me you've been pretty unpleasant.
Look, I don't know who you are, but you and I have got nothing to say to each other.
You'd be surprised. Tell me, do you want that house or not? If so, you better get over here, because I'm the only hope you've got. That should do it. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Oh, you don't have to thank me. You're entitled to your phone call. Smith. Be careful, eh?
Yeah.
John, did you get a description?
No, not much. Tall, thick-set, blonde.
It's sketchy. It does sound a bit like one of McNally's boys.
No.
We've known about Tranter for some time. I didn't know he was connected with McNally. Always thought of him as a small-time receiver who occasionally gave us a bit of information.
Yeah, well, he's certainly running scared when I left him.
Yeah, listen, I think you better get out of this now. Leave it to us. McNally's boys, they play in the big league and they play for keeps.
Yeah, well, after that conversation with Tranter, I think it's too late. No, I'll stick it out until the end.
You watch yourself, otherwise you're going to end up in dead trouble. And I mean dead.
Oh, come in, Mr. Humphrey. Sit down.
I don't intend to make this a social visit, so say what you've got to say so I can get out of here.
Oh, Mr. Fletcher, I forgot something. I left the steam on full in the steam press. Could be dangerous if anyone else uses it.
Well, I'd better go and see to it, hadn't I, Smith? I wouldn't want to see anybody get hurt.
That's very impressive. You seem to carry some weight around here.
That's because I get things done. And you are my project for today. So let's get started on it, eh?
By all means.
I won't beat around the bush with you because you're not worth it.
Now, don't talk to me like that.
I think I have a proposition for you that might be very interesting.
Oh, yes. The house. Right, but for God's sake, get on with it so I can get out of this place.
Let's just forget about the house for the moment. How would you feel about a headline reading something like, Bank manager's ex-con stepmother tells all?
That's ridiculous. That's nothing short of blackmail.
Coming from you, that is pretty funny. But don't stop me there. That's just the start. Ever heard of a bank man called Lenny Travers?
A bank man? No, he's a robber.
So, what's the difference? He robs banks. Then he gets out in 3 months. And he owes me a favour. I looked after his mum when she was in here.
Very touching.
Oh, that's me. I'm all heart. Anyway, Lenny's been a big disappointment to his old mum. She's scared one day he might kill someone. Or it's a dead cert he'll do a job when he gets out. But all the city banks know him. So he'll have to go to the country. Won't he? Chances are you might just meet him yourself someday. And like I said, he owes me a favour.
Yes?
Have you got a moment, Mrs. Davidson?
Yes, Miss Bennett. What can I do for you?
It's about the wedding.
Oh, yes. Very sad, isn't it?
I didn't mean Birdsworth's. I meant mine.
Pardon?
My wedding to Terry.
Your wedding? Oh, I didn't realise.
Well, everything's happened so fast. We'll be getting married in about 6 weeks' time.
Oh. Well, that's wonderful. My very best wishes.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Davidson.
6 weeks? Goodness. Oh, we'll have to do something about getting you some time off.
Well, that's why I came to see you now. I wanted to give you as much time as I could so that you could find a replacement.
Replacement? Well, for how long?
Permanently. I'm tendering my resignation.
So you've got, what, another couple of weeks to serve?
Yeah, and they can't come soon enough for me. I'm on edge every time I'm alone. I've got to keep one eye over my shoulder all the time.
Well, there's your answer, then. She mustn't be left alone at all. One of us has to be with her all the time. Don't give him another chance to have a go at her.
Yeah, but what about during the night? I mean, she's in a single cell.
I don't think they'll try that. But just in case, set up a warning device inside your door. Something will give you a signal, make a lot of noise in case someone tries to open your door while you're asleep.
Yeah, but now that he knows it's out in the open, he's not going to be too blatant.
Yeah, we don't want to take a chance, though, do we? We don't want another Jock Stewart accident on our hands.
Yeah, well, why don't we make sure and fix him ourselves?
Oh, we can't do that. I mean, you know that he and Vinegar Tits are going to get married. And if we do anything to stop that, we'll never get rid of her.
Yeah, besides, we can't spoil Vera's big day. I mean, she's waited so long for it, hasn't she? I've got some wonderful ideas for wedding presents.
Do tell.
Mrs. Davidson, have you seen Vera? I have to go and I want to see her before I went.
Well, she's gone off duty. Did you know she was resigning?
Yes, but I've only just found out.
Yes, so did I.
I gather it's all been a bit sudden.
Well, it did give me rather a shock. I know she has her faults, but she's a very good officer. I don't know how I'm going to replace her.
Well, no one's indispensable. I mean, you said the same thing to me when I was leaving. Wentworth will survive.
Yes, I suppose so. I'll just have to get used to a new officer. I must say I was very pleased for her personally. She and Terry should be very good for each other.
Well, I only hope so.
Well, you don't sound very sure.
Well, can anyone ever be too sure about what some people are really like?
No, I suppose it is a bit of a gamble. Oh, dear, I don't think I could stand any more excitement today.
How's your talk going for the Ibis Club?
Oh, I've been doing a lot of work on it.
Are they really serious about their interest in an alternative to imprisonment?
Well, it appears so. I'll know just how interested they are when I give them my talk. You wouldn't like to come along and back me up, would you?
I'd love to, but unfortunately, there are only 7 days in 1 week. Well, good luck. And don't worry about Vera. You'll find someone to replace her. Good night.
Good night, Meg.